$100,000 med spa mistake that I want to save you from. This hurts my heart so much because I see it way too often. This online mistake is overlooked by so many med spa owners, and I don't want it to happen to you. Guys, you need to know what your login credentials are. You need to own them. You need to own your online digital assets. You need to own your website. I'm going to be breaking down all the little intricacies that you need to watch out for when you're signing a contract with a web developer or a marketing company. You need to be equipped with the information to make good, solid decisions. This whole training is because I just spoke to someone yesterday that signed a contract that I couldn't believe, that I absolutely couldn't believe that they signed their rights away, in the sense of they paid for a website. And in the event they want to take control over it, work with someone else, do it themselves, they have no website. They don't own the content. It's built in a proprietary system. They have to start completely over. They are married to this person for absolute life. And I don't want that to happen to you. Another person the other day was so unhappy with their SEO person, and they wanted to switch services, move over to us, but they didn't know their login credentials. They didn't know if they were the owner of their domain, of their WordPress, of their Google Analytics. They thought they were, but they weren't sure. They didn't know their login credentials. And then come to find out that once they got their login credentials, they weren't the owner because someone else set it up and then just gave them editor access or view access. So then what happened is, once they broke up with them, all of a sudden, ghost, can't find them, disappeared, right? And it stops doing business, right? It happens so often. So you guys need to be equipped with this knowledge of how to properly manage this online presence risk, guys, because it literally have cost med spas hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can't tell you, right? When they go to market an event, right? They don't have access. They can't do it. They go to switch providers, right? Their website completely down for sometimes months, right? Then having to spend tens of thousands of dollars to rebuild and launch again. It happens so often. Okay, so you might have paid someone to build your site, but that doesn't always mean that you have control over it, right? And that's so scary. And a lot of times they give you this like novel, this 10-page contract, and you don't know what it means, right? But this is where you got to be an informed business owner. We've seen med spas get totally locked out of their websites because they didn't have the right logins, or they didn't have the right ownership, or they signed a real crappy contract. And you have to decide, do I cut my losses, right, and take control, or do I just accept it, right? And it's probably hurting you in other ways by just accepting the terms. So I just think it's a completely unethical way to do business. So today, I'm going to be walking you through the accounts that you must have access to, that you must have your login credentials to, okay? How to make sure that you are the owner, because it's one thing to have your credentials. We really see this a lot, but it's another thing that if you're a guest versus an owner, because this is where you could be held hostage, and how to ask your developer to hand over that access without any drama, right? Because like, even if you love your developer, you love your SEO person, you love your marketing person, it's still really important that you have your login credentials, okay? Do it now, right, when there isn't drama. And then another thing is, okay, I have all these logins and credentials, and how do I keep them all straight? And do I put them on, a sticky note or in my notebook? And we have some really great tools to help you stay safe and stay organized at the end of the day. Losing your data, losing your customers. This training will show you exactly how to take back control. All right, so here are the need to own and why. All right, here are the big ones. So first and foremost, guys, you gotta own your domain. Oh my gosh, I've seen this so many times where it's a brand new business and they have, an agency buy their domain for them and they think, oh yeah, it's mine, I own it, right? But then the person, the agency that bought it, they're the owner, right? On file. This is your digital address, right? If someone else bought it for you, they might be the ones that actually own it. So you need to make sure that your name and your email address is attached to the domain. And you may be wondering, okay, well, how do I check this, right? So it's really a simple site. It's like Who is Lookup, WHOIS, Who is Lookup, and you're going to be able to see if you own your domain or not. All right. Now, the next one is because a horror story again, a medspa owner had their domain registered by their old developer. And when they parted ways, that developer refused to transfer it, right? Refused. And the spa had to rebrand with a totally new domain. You do not want that to happen to you because they lost all of their SEO rankings overnight. That was a big ouch, big ouch. The next one is website hosting. So this is where your website actually lives, and you should be paying for this directly and to be logged in. So when we build a website for our client, we will set this up for you, but we put your name, your email, your credit card on file, right? So in the event in the future, whether it's 3 months, 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years, right? There's no interruption in service. You own it. You absolutely own it. Okay. I saw one time a spa owner's website went offline for days because their developer let the hosting expire. They let the hosting expire and it had his email attached to it, not the business owners or the med spa. And so they didn't even know that it was offline until customers kept telling them that. And they're like, oh, geez, I had no idea, right? No one at the spa had the login to renew it, and they had lost thousands of dollars in bookings because until it was restored. Oh. Okay, and the next one is website admin login. So you need to be an admin, not an editor, not a viewer. Okay, so big differentiation. So a lot of people, oh yeah, here I have my login credentials. We go and verify that. And then we see that you're a viewer or an editor. Why that's so important, and before, let's say you potentially break up with your old web developer or SEO person, is because you can't make any changes, right? If they're the admin or the owner, right? So you need to make sure that you are the admin at the end of the day, and you allow the contractors or the agency to be an editor or viewer so you can revoke that access at any time, right? This lets you make changes, update pages, manage users, all of that. And I saw once a spa that was running a huge promo, but couldn't update the homepage because only the developer had admin rights, and he was on vacation, right? And so they're scrambling, they're trying to get ready for their event, and again, missed out on tens of thousands of dollars. So the next login credentials is any type of emails and forms. So using MailChimp or Jotform, right? Again, have those accounts handy. Now, it's not that uncommon if you a lot of times agencies will use their own, Jotform and high level, and you might not necessarily have access to those forever because it's attached to a paid marketing campaign. But anything that, like MailChimp in your email, you absolutely want to be the owner of that account. It should always stay with you. Same with your Google tools, right? If you are new to doing AdWords, or you've had another agency doing Google AdWords for you or SEO, some of those companies will set up your Google Analytics or your console, and they're the owner of those. And then if you break up with them, you don't have access to that data anymore. So again, a good marketing company that does business ethically, in my opinion, and maybe it's not about ethics, maybe even sometimes it's just because it's easier, but that's not a valid reason to not set you up for long-term success. And we totally believe that at Diamond Accelerator. So we want to make sure that even if we set that up for you, that you own it. You are the admin of your Google Analytics, of your Google Search Console at the end of the day. Same thing can be true with your Facebook and your Instagram, your Google listings, right? You should be the admin of your business pages, right? Not your social media person. we had one client that an ex-employee was the only admin on their Facebook page. And after she quit, she locked out the owner. And the spa eventually had to just start a brand new page from scratch. And what happened is they literally lost tens of thousands of dollars because they had to restart building up all of their ad sets. They had to, and that pixel and that algorithm and the cost per lead greatly changed. And so we don't even really know the full effect of the tens of thousands of dollars on top of just like the headache and time that it took from that business. Now, you also may be thinking, oh, I don't want to burn any bridges with my employee, with a contractor, with an agency. So literally you could just be like, listen, I am doing a risk audit, because I tell you guys, this literally is risk management here. You need to know your logins. You need to be the owner of all of these different accounts, softwares, domains, all of it, right? And it really is risk management at the end of the day. So just send a simple email or a message, hey, Tom, I'm doing a quick review of all of my accounts to make sure everything is under the business. Could you send over logins for website, domain, and hosting, and confirm that I'm listed as the admin or owner on everything? I'd really appreciate it. It's very simple, guys. Like, that's it. No drama. This is business at the end of the day. Now, if they push back, right, that's a red flag to me. Like, you deserve to own what you paid for. And listen, it's not that uncommon, right, for them to question it. And hopefully they are in your good graces, right? And you are just doing risk management here. And you do this work before it's time to have a difficult conversation when you want to break up with someone, right? And you really can be, true when you're saying like, hey, I'm just doing risk management. But even if you're not, guys, it really is your professional obligation as a business owner to have your shit together. And this is definitely on your list of having your shit together. So once you have all of these passwords, how do you manage them so that you're not just like listing them on the back of a notebook and then a year later being like, oh my gosh, what did I do with it, right? That's not even safe to begin with. So one of the things that we use at Diamond Accelerator is a password manager. I've used LastPass, I've used Dashlane. They're both really great platforms, right? And this is really going to help you to be able to store all of your logins in one place safely. And what's really awesome too is that you can utilize autofills for your website, because then you can have really secure logins without having to like remember the very long passwords. Okay, so that's very helpful there. And the biggest thing in a company is that it lets you share passwords with your staff without actually having to show them the password. Why that is so important is that every time, if you have to let someone go or someone leaves, whatever, good, bad, and indifferent reason, it doesn't matter. You don't want to have to keep changing your password, right? That's when it gets difficult. Like, oh, I can't remember what I had, I didn't have, and did I lock them out? Did I clear it? All those things, right? But because if you just share passwords through a management system like Dashlane or LastPass, you could do limited access, meaning like when they go through LastPass or Dashlane, it will populate for them, but they can't see the password. So when you let someone go or someone leaves, you don't have to keep changing your password all the time. You just remove the sharing rights that you originally gave to them. It's so great. It helps keep things so organized and so secure. I mean, we have over 50 plus Diamond Girls at this point, and there are a number of company systems and softwares that, we utilize one system that everyone has the same uses the same login credentials. But with Dashlane, it allows that security at any time. I can revoke those sharing privileges without having to like reset the password and then let all the team know. It makes things so much easier. And I can remember, just here recently, we helped a med spa owner set up through their Dashlane after losing a staff member who, guys, she had all of her logins in a notebook. and they are now no longer at the mercy of being able to like remember what passwords. You put everything in there. You could put, you know, your EMR. You could put all your vendor portals in there. It's so nice, right? Like, I mean, as a business owner, how many times have a day do you get from an employee like, oh, can you share the password with me on this? Oh, I forgot it, right? This is a game changer. I own my domain. I have hosting access. I'm an admin on my website. I control my email tool. I am the boss of my Facebook, Instagram, Google, right? You name it. Mark off what you have, right? Circle what you need to fix or get access to. And again, don't just get those logins, okay? Don't just get the logins. You also need to make sure that you are the owner in the admin. You guys, this will give you so much peace of mind. I will have so much peace of mind for you because I have talked to hundreds of med spa owners that have been held hostage by agencies, by contractors, by employees, by business partners, right? By former family members, by best friends. It happens all the time. So if you know that you want to be the owner at the end of the day, if Armageddon happens with your company and employees or contractors or agencies, this will give you the peace of mind. You will be in control. You will be able to switch providers at any time without any of the drama or heartache. Okay, you will sleep better at night. So what do? Okay, so you're going to use this checklist. You're going to get admin access to everything, and then you're going to set up a password manager. But not only do I use this for my business, but I also use this for my personal life as well, and all the family and kid logins and groups and just everything, right? All in there. Like if this went away, now life would be difficult because if you know, remember, like this is your livelihood. This is your online digital address footprint. You need to own it like a boss. And if you need help with this, right, reach out to us. We'll walk you through it. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to open up the floor for questions and see what I have here. Yes, we see it all the time. I'm seeing that. Okay. Hey, Luda. Hey, John. Hey, Desiree. Hey, Joey. Hey, Sarah. Okay, question here. How do I know if I really own my domain? Yes, go to Whois, WHOIS, and you can look up, right? If you are the, and you enter your domain, and then you can see who the registrant is. Okay, so it's like whois.domaintools.com, and then you'll be good to go. If it's not your name or business email, that's when you know, okay, I got to fix this, right? Let's see, next question. My developer says I don't need admin access. Is that true? That is not true. That is a red flag. You paid for your site. You should have full access, right? Even if you never use it, even if you're like, this is a different language to me, guys, and I'm like that a lot of times on a lot of different softwares that I have. It doesn't matter. You still need to have admin access, right? Because admin access equals ownership. Password manager app, is it free? There are free versions and paid versions. The free version will get you pretty much everything that you need. But even if it's if you would need to do the paid version, it's so worth it, and it's not very expensive. So Dashlane is what I use. I've used LastPass in the past, but currently for the last probably 5 years, I use Dashlane, and I think it's fantastic. Okay, what if I get access and then, or what if I can't get access and then the developer ghosted me? So this is where you would want to contact the domain register or the hosting company directly, and you would just have to provide proof of ownership. So you might have to provide like a business license, an invoice, and worst case scenario, if that doesn't go through, then you might have to get legal help. But we've assisted a client working through GoDaddy, where they provided that documentation. Even with Facebook, it's a long, lengthy process. I don't want you to have to do it. So that's why I say when things are good or just getting started, make sure that you get that set up correctly. Awesome. Last question here. Can Diamond Accelerator help me clean up my passwords? Yes, absolutely. In fact, if you want to reach out and get a website asset audit and recovery session, we would be happy to help you reclaim, ownership, get organized with your logins, and document everything, because it's so important. And you want to do that when we're not in crisis mode, when you're not like, oh, I want to break up with my developer or my SEO person. Do it from the very beginning. What do you recommend I do if I don't own my domain? So first, hopefully you're working with potentially a contractor or agency that just was like, hey, that did it for you, right? They're like, oh, I'll take care of this. So most like honest agencies and working people will transfer that over. It's not difficult to transfer that over, but you got to read your contract. There are some companies out there that do own your domain and you just didn't know it. You assumed that they were taking care of you, but you cannot assume that these days. So you got to then go to your contract to see, do you in fact own your domain, or does the agency, was that part of their contract, right? If you do own it, then just ask them to transfer it over, right? Like, hey, I'm doing risk assessment. It's really important that I own this asset. And then if they ghost you, right, that's when you can reach out to the domain company and you'll have to just show like proof of owning the business. And then last course, get a legal attorney involved, because if you have to get a whole new domain, and let's say you spent, $10,000 building the website, you spent another, $10,000 with, SEO services last year, and now all of a sudden you have to start completely over with a brand new domain, like that's a problem. That's a big problem. So in that case, after going through those different steps and failing, you might need to get legal counsel involved. So, all right. Thank you guys. Great questions. I hope that you found this helpful. I can't tell you how many unfortunate conversations I've had with med spa owners that didn't know what kind of contract that they were getting into, or, had a good relationship for a really long time or a short period of time with a developer, with a contractor, with an employee, with an agency, and then it just took its course for good, bad, and indifferent reasons. And then they were up a creek when they didn't have their login credentials. They were up a creek when they didn't realize that the other person was the owner or admin on those accounts. And so they lost valuable time, they lost appointments, they lost revenue. They had so much headaches at the end of the day. So do your due diligence now if it's not a difficult time. And if you are in a difficult time, regardless, either of those situations, this training is really going to help you get in the right direction, because I don't want this to be $100,000 plus mistake like I've seen for so many med spa owners. All right, guys, thanks for joining me here. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. If you love this training, make sure that you share it with another business owner that could benefit from it. You can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube every single week, same time, same place.